Hi, this is Ruth Brown from Heavy Reading, part of Omdia, and I'm at Mobile World Congress with Vijay. Welcome, Vijay. Really lovely to speak to you today.
Thank you for having me here.
So already this morning, I see there's signs everywhere, probably like yourself, for AI. How can AI make telecoms better? Today we're going to talk particularly around observability and the challenges and kind of how we can evolve the technology and using tools such as AI. So the first question that's probably worth starting with is, what do you see as the challenges in the observability space?
What do we see? Look, I think observability has evolved quite a lot over the last a decade or more. But we believe there are still some very important challenges that need to be addressed. The first and foremost is the quality of the data itself. If you look at any operator today, they have the aspiration to provide the best customer experience. But not all of them are able to extract the data that is needed to be able to make sure that they're delivering on that experience. Many of them, for example, just take aggregate statistics of their interface counters or get their net flow records, but that doesn't quite have the level of fidelity needed to ensure that a user who's watching their streaming video is getting it at the best resolution, or a gamer is actually able to play without any lag spikes, or a conference call is going on without any glitches and stutters. So the quality of that data needs to be really high fidelity that's able to show what an individual user is experiencing on the specific application that they're using. And we believe this has a lot of business value. So you can provide a lot better customer support to a user who calls in and says, look, I had this lag spike in my game, or I had a bad experience on my conference, being able to troubleshoot why that actually happened. It also helps do better network tuning and optimization, which makes sure that you're actually optimizing for the right thing, and that is actually improving the experience for the user. So that's, I think, one of the areas. The other challenge I feel is that in spite of having this data, operators are still using very manual workflows. As the volume of data gets bigger, networks get faster and bigger, it gets quite challenging for humans to weed through the data and really see where the problem areas are. And I think that automation of those workflows, I believe, is a huge opportunity. And of course, AI will play a huge role there.
Yeah. So especially as we evolve to 5G, there is a lot of changes in monitoring. How do you see what we need to do, and how do we need to address it? What are the fundamental moves between 4G and 5G to actually get data monitoring?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, one of the big challenges is the quality of the data that the operators are able to extract in terms of the user experience for their observability platforms. So in that, I think there have been some fundamental changes going from 4G to 5G. 4G was still very much appliance-based. I think 5G is starting to become cloud-native from the get-go. In terms of what we've been doing at Canopus, we have also evolved our platform and our technology. When we started, we totally embraced the software-defined networking paradigm, and we built our solutions on programmable switches. But now we have started moving our sensors into cloud-native environments, leveraging the eBPF technology, which is really a kernel-level technology. It's pure software. It can work on any hardware, totally agnostic, as long as it's running Linux. And it has a lot of advantages in terms of efficiency and scalability. And a lot of the hyperscalers have also embraced it in recent years. So having these high-quality sensors that are able to extract this high-fidelity data down at the sub-second level on what's happening to users streaming video or conferencing or gaming, I think that's a bit of a game changer. And that's something that at Canopus we've been building these sensors. Now, if you take the data from these sensors, which are extracting this telemetry at sub-second timescales, obviously that's a lot of data. The second step is to actually examine the data. And that's where, again, we have actually built a whole AI technology. We've got 8 patents, we've got 30+ academic research papers that are able to take this very fine-grained telemetry and exactly able to say that this is a streaming video, it's actually a YouTube, it's working at high-definition resolution, and the buffers are not freezing, which means the user is having a glitch-free experience, right? So the patented technology that we have is able to really extract that application intelligence and the context, which now can go into the operators and they can say, oh, exactly what happened to a YouTube stream or a game or a cloud game or an AR/VR session or what have you. So that's, I think, the second component, the examination. And I would say the third component is taking this rich contextual data and being able to take your workflows, which today are very, very manual. For example, today operators would have big teams in their SOC and NOC. They would be looking through dashboards. When a customer complains, they'd go and try to drill down and see what's happening. I think as we try to automate these workflows using Agentic AI technology, something that we have started doing in the last year, you can start to do this at scale. You can start to do this without missing any insights, which humans tend to miss things because obviously they're limited in how much they can absorb in their brain. And you can really scale it up and find things much more efficiently, much more cost effectively, and be able to deliver on that superior experience. So this platform actually, which brings together the sensing element, the examination, the evaluation, and the response, we have just labeled it as SEER. S-E-E-R stands for Sense, Examine, Evaluate, and Respond. And in fact, we just announced it or launched it just last week.
Yeah, so that's really exciting news about the new platform. Congratulations. How are you seeing already the impact of it with the operators? So you sort of mentioned they've got all these different tools and the sort of sensing, examining. What impact is it giving operators just now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So as we have rolled this out to different customers, we are finding that actually it's opening up a lot of opportunities which maybe we didn't realize before. So as one example, this platform is operating with a customer in Asia and is monitoring millions of subscribers on their mobile network. Now, before they had our platform, a lot of it used to be very manual. A customer would call in and complain, and it's a VIP customer, so they're very important to the operator. They'd then go and do some manual investigations, and they just wouldn't have visibility into what's happening. With our tool, they are now able to see exactly what is happening and say, oh, look, you had a bad experience, but it wasn't the network's fault. It so happened that your conference server or game server was hosted in a country outside, and that's why you had a high latency. And more importantly, they're able to do this proactively. I'll give you one specific example. This operator, because they're running a network with millions of subscribers, thousands of cells, they were struggling to see how they optimize their network, and that was largely driven by where they were getting the most customer complaints, the cells where people were complaining the most. But using our tool, they said, look, the most important applications we care about are YouTube, WhatsApp, and Facebook. It's called kind of the holy trinity of applications, especially in Asia. So we said, great. So we looked at YouTube in particular, and we were able to draw for them a map of what the YouTube experience was across their network. And immediately they were able to see what are the cells that are red for YouTube experience. And then we were able to show them for the cell that they said, okay, this is where the experience is bad. They did some retuning. After they retuned the cell, they could see that the throughputs in the cell went up, which is great. But what does it actually mean for the user? We were able to show them that the user experience was able to go up quite a lot. In fact, we showed that YouTube in particular, before they did the retuning, about 40% of their YouTube video was going in low definition or standard definition. But after the retuning, we saw that the low and medium definition almost vanished, and the ultra high definition started coming in to the extent that as much as 40% of the YouTube streams were able to work in ultra high definition. So I think that was visually very powerful for them to see that the tuning they did was not just an engineering thing that showed some engineering metrics to improve, but the user experience in terms of YouTube resolutions actually went up. So that was very, very gratifying. But look, we are seeing other use cases, not just in troubleshooting. We are seeing, in tuning your network, where do you put your effort? Because if you look at the manual process of alerts and dashboards, you get thousands, if not tens of thousands of alerts on a daily and weekly basis. With our tool, they're able to focus on where should they be paying attention, where should they be doing the optimization in order to uplift the user experience, which after all is the endpoint of the whole network.
So already, fantastic short-term achievements that we've seen with the new platform. How do you see as we go sort of further into the future, what sort of achievements and advantages do you see for operators?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, we think first and foremost, AI is here to stay. AI is going to have a huge impact. We feel that firstly, the fact that softwareization, especially with the move to 5G, it's all become software defined. That means the agility will increase. That means solutions can be put in place very quickly. And we believe that the EBP of technology that we are leveraging is something that's only going to grow. It dramatically reduces the barrier to deployment. You can quickly put something in. It's super flexible, and you can adjust it based on the scale of your network. But really looking forward from there, once you extract this really high quality data, which we have done with our platform, with the SEER platform, being able to leverage AI both to build the right models. Once you have good quality data, you can build models on how do users behave, what kind of apps do they consume, are they likely to churn, what kind of products can be bundled that are suitable to a specific user who has a certain interest. For example, you may like watching live sport. So how do you know that, and how do you craft the right set of bundles? So AI and modeling that's going to be based on this high octane fuel, as I call it, is going to get important. At the same point, the use of AI to really build those automated workflows is going to be really important, because I think with networks getting larger, data volumes growing, there's absolutely no chance that humans can keep up with these manual workflows. So if you look at AI as the engine, and the engine's evolving with the new algorithms that are coming in place, large language models, et cetera, we strongly believe these AI engines need to be fed with high octane fuel, which is kind of what we do with the data extraction. And these engines need to be fitted in the right car to make those vehicles move around, which is kind of analogous to the workflows that we have with the data. So that's my view on how we think, AI is going to shift the industry in the years to come.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, it's been brilliant to hear the updates from Canopus Networks, also your insights about AI and observation. So thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to watching the high octane products in the future.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.